Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to our online sessions. So today we shall do the last unit, the last block of the course, uh, Business Communications, MCOM 105 Business Communications. So in this block, we shall discuss the practices in business communications. What are the practical or practices, in business communications? So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about different types of communications, right? And formal, reporting, writing skills. So from this block onward, the focus shifts mainly to spoken communication and interpersonal interactions. So this block is very important because it focuses on how communication skills are actually used in real business and professional situations. So before we proceed further, you know, let's quickly look at the lecture contents. So these are the lecture contents. So we shall start with a brief recap of the previous lecture, and then today's focus areas, followed by learning goals, and then discussions from units 15 to 18, and then assignment questions, and finally conclusions of the lecture. Right. So now let's move on to the next slides. Here we have a recap of the previous lecture and today's area, focus areas. So now let's focus on the recap of previous lecture. So in the previous lecture, we have completed block 4, report writing, right? So let me tell you, before starting a new block, it is always important to briefly revise what was discussed in the previous lecture. So this slide provides a recap of block 4, report writing, right? Which we have completed earlier in the previous lectures. So what have we done in the previous lecture? So we have completed mainly 3 units, right? 3 units of block 4. So in block 4, unit 12, we have discuss about different types of reports such as proposals, right? Short reports and formal reports. And we have also discussed about what a report is, why it is written, and how it is structured. And the report presentation was also discussed as a systematic process that involves planning, collection informations, or organizing ideas, and presenting facts clearly and formally. And reports play a clear role in business decision making and official communications. So and next we have also discussed in unit 13, the sale presentations and training presentations, right? And in unit 14 we have discussed about conducting surveys and delivering motivational speeches, right? How surveys were discussed as tools for collecting opinions, feedback, and data organizations. Motivational speeches were also explained as a way to inspire, encourage, and energize employees or teams. Okay, so this recap is very important because block 4 mainly dealt with written and preferred forms of communications. So while you can see in the block 5, it moves towards spoken, interactive, and practical communication skills. So understanding this transition helps you, see business communications as a complete system, where writing, speaking, listening, and presenting are all connected. Okay, so by recalling, Black Block 4, you are now, you should be now prepared to understand the practical communication activities that will be discussed in Block 5. Right, so now let's move on to Block 5, practices in business communications. So here, the focus clearly shifts from written communication to practical and spoken communication skills that are essential in professional and organizational settings. So while earlier blocks helped you understand theory, written formats, this block emphasizes how communications actually happens in real life workplaces. Okay, so block 5 consists of unit 15 to 18. So each unit deals with a specific area of oral and interpersonal communications. And unit 15 introduces group discussions, mock interviews, seminars, and effective listening exercises. So these activities are commonly used in companies, institutions, to assess communication ability, teamwork, and confidence. So unit 16 focuses on individual and group presentations, especially oral presentations. So presentations are a regular part of business life, whether it is presented in a whether it is presenting a project, pitching an idea, or explaining a report. So this unit helps you understand how to present ideas clearly and confidently. So unit 17 explains the principles of oral presentation and the factors that affect presentation effectiveness. So this unit helps you understand why some presentations succeed while others fail, even when the content is good. So the last unit is unit of this block is unit 18, that is unit 18. It deals with interviewing skills, including appearing in interviews, conducting interviews. Interviews are crucial in recruitment, and selection processes. Making this unit especially useful for your career. So uh, so we can say that block 5 is actually is all about skill oriented and application based. So yeah, you may not be expected to. You're not maybe what would I say? You're not expected not just to understand the concepts here. So, but you also try to apply them in real life situations. So active participation, practice and self-awareness are important, for learning these skills. All right. So now let's move on to learning goals of this lecture. So of this, block 5. So, as you can see here, objectives and outcomes. Let's focus on all, course objectives first. So course objectives, here, as you can see, the first one, the first objectives is to help students understand how oral communication operates in professional settings, right? So like in offices and organizations, communication mainly happens through meetings, discussions, presentations, interviews. This objective focuses on understanding how spoken communication functions in such environments, and why clarity and politeness are important. So the second objective is to develop confidence in group discussions, so presentations and interviews. So many students feel nervous while speaking in front of audience. So this block aims to reduce fear and hesitation by helping and helping you understand and understand communication situations and practice appropriate techniques, right? Uh, the third objective is to improve your listening skills, speaking and interpersonal communication, skills. See, communication is, is not only about speaking well, but also about speaking carefully and interacting respectfully with others. Good interpersonal skills help in teamwork and professional relationships. So the final objective is to, prepare students for corporate selection processes and workplace communications. You see, employers look for candidates who can express ideas clearly, right? So listen actively and behave professionally. So this course help you develop these qualities. I mean, this block, right? So overall, these objectives shows that block 5 is not limited to like for examinations or classroom learning. So it focuses on real life applications and professional growth. By achieving these objectives, so you may become better communicators and more confident professionals. Okay, now let's look at the expected outcomes. So expected outcomes here, describe what as a student should be able to do after completing this block successfully. So while course objectives focuses on teaching goals, or outcome focuses on a student performance and ability. So this expected outcome is that the first outcome outcome is that student will be able to participate effectively in group discussions and seminars. So this means expressing ideas clearly, listening to others patiently, and responding in a logical and respectful manner. So effective participation also uh, involves teamwork and corporations. So the second outcome is the ability to deliver clear and well structured oral presentations. Students should be able to organize their thoughts, speak confidently, and present information in a simple and understandable way. So these skills is essential uh, in academic presentations as well as in business meetings. So the third outcome focuses on facing um, interviews confidently, right? And using proper verbal and non-verbal communications. So here non-verbal communication includes like clear speech in appropriate language, while non-verbal communication includes like posture, eye contact, okay, and facial expressions. So together this non-verbal communications so help create a positive impressions. So the last outcome here is the ability to apply business communication skills in real organizational environments. So this means using communication skills effectively in workplaces, offices, and professional interactions, not just in examinations or so, right? So this outcome clearly shows that block 5 is practical, skill based. So the focus is on real abilities that help you in employment, you as a student, as students, like employment and professional life. Okay, now let's move on to the next slides. That is unit 15. So as you can see here, the slides introduces unit 15, which focuses on what group discussions and seminars, right? Uh, so these are very important activities in both academic and professional environments, because they test how well a person communicate with others in a group settings. Like, let's begin with group, as you can see here, group setting, group discussions. So this a structured discussion in which participants share their opinions on a given topic, right? In business organizations especially, group discussions are commonly used during recruitment and selection processes, right? So through group discussions, companies assess candidates' communication skills, ability to work in a team, leadership qualities, logical thinking, and confidence. So the example, uh, there are some examples like what from um, uh, as you can see, work from home, right? Work from home pros and cons, right? Shows that participants must present their ideas clearly while also listening to others. So the goal is not to dominate in the discussions, but to contribute meaningfully and cooperatively. Okay, so and next is seminar, which are like seminars are like formal academic or professional meetings where a specific topic is presented and discussed. So seminars help improve subject knowledge, also develop public speaking skills. They encourage participants to prepare in advance, so speak confidently and respond to questions correctly on perfectly, right? So another important part of this is uh, effective listening exercises. So listening is a key communication skills actually. So effective listening means paying full attention to the speaker, not interrupting, and trying to understand what the message before responding. It also involves responding thoughtfully rather than emotionally. So this either 15 teaches that communication not only about speaking but also about listening, understanding, and interacting respectfully. These skills are essential for success in group activities, meetings, and professional discussions. Okay, now let's move on to the uh, next topic. That is mock interviews. This is also another important topic from here. That is mock interviews. So these are practice interviews conducted before actual job interviews. So mock interviews are actually important part of communication training, because they help uh, candidates, right, prepare for real interview situations in a supportive environment. So what is the main purpose of this mock interviews? So it is to reduce fear and nervousness. Many candidates or students feel anxious while facing interviews, right? Especially if it is their first experience. So practicing through mock interviews helps become familiar with the interview setting and feel more confident Okay, so mock interviews, also help in improving clarity of answers. Students learn how to organize their thoughts and express ideas clearly, precisely, right? So they are trained to avoid unnecessary informations and focus on relevant points. So this is very important because interviewers often have limited time. Okay, so another important, aim of mock interviews is to develop professional behavior. This includes appropriate body language, property postures, eye contact, respectful, tone of voice. These verbal aspects of communication create a strong first impressions. So here, as you can see in the slide, it mentions, uh, that mock interviews does skills such as body language, tone of voices, answer structures, and confidence. So these are the several mock interview test skills. So, for example, when a student practices answering a common question like "Tell me about yourself," right? Yeah, so they learn how to introduce themselves in a professional and in a a relevant manner, right? So mock interviews act as a training ground for real success. So feedback receiving during mock interviews helps identify their weakness and improve before facing actual interviews. So this practice builds confidence and prepares candidates or students for corporate or whatever it is for like corporate select, especially like corporate selection process. Okay, so this is all about unit 15. Next, we move on to unit 16. That is individual and group presentations. So in here, this particular unit focuses on mainly three topics, right? So as you can see here, it focuses on mainly three topics, that is individual presentations, group discussions, and oral presentations. So presentations are a common and important part of business and academic life. Employees, managers, students are often required to present ideas, reports, or project to the like audience, right? So, an individual. Let's begin with individual presentations. It is a presentation delivered by a single individual person. So, this type of presentation test speakers' confidence, clarity of thought, and ability to organize informations logically. So the presenter is fully responsible for explaining the topic and answering questions. So individual presentations help in developing self-confidence and independent speaking skills. So next is a group presentations. So this involves more than one individual or more than one presenter. So in this type of presentation, responsibility is shared among group members. So each member usually explains a part of the topic. So group presentations, requires coordination, teamwork, and cooperations. So all members must understand the topic well and maintain continuity while presenting. Okay, so next is oral presentations. So oral presentation refers to spoken communication supported by voice modulations. gestures, facial expressions, and sometimes visual aids. So an effective oral presentation depends on not only on what is said, but also how it is being said. Okay. So the example given on the slide refers to marketing pitch deliberation, right? So where each members explain one sections. So this shows how good presentation work in real business situations. So this particular unit, right, helps understand that presentations are not about memorizing content, but about communicating ideas clearly and confidently. So it prepares you for professional tasks such as meetings, conference, and project briefings. Okay. So next we have unit 17, the principles of oral presentations. So now what are the principles? What is it exactly? So principles are basic rules or guidelines that help a presentation become clear, meaningful, and effective. So even if a speaker has good knowledge, a presentation can fail if these principles are ignored. So the first principle mentioned is having a clear objective and message. So before uh no speaking, the presenters must know exactly what they want to say and why they are saying it. A presentation without a clear purpose often confuses the audience, right? So the next principle is logical structure, which includes an introduction, body, and conclusion. The introduction tells that the audience, sorry, the introduction, as I said, introduction, body, and conclusion, right? The introduction tells the audience what the topic is about. The body explains, the main points in a proper order. And the conclusion summarizes the key ideas and brings the presentations to a clear end. So this structure helps the audience follow the presentations easily. Another important principle is the use of simple and appropriate language. In business communication, clarity is more important than complex vocabulary. The language should suit the audience and the situations. And eye contact and confidence poses. These are also very important. Eye contact creates a connection with the audience, and while good postures shows confidence and professionalism. And finally, audience engagements. So asking like questions or using relevant examples keeps the audience interest and attentive. So this unit, teaches that good presentations are not accidental, right? They are planned, practiced, and audience focused. And following these principles, help students communicate ideas clearly and confidently in professional settings. So next is factors affecting presentations. So this explain the factors that affect the quality and effectiveness of presentations. Even when a presenter has a good content and speaking ability, certain factors can influence how successful the presentation will be. So understanding these factors helps speakers prepare better and avoid common problems. The first factor, mentioned, is the speaker's preparation and confidence. A well prepared speaker feels more confidence and communicates more clearly. you know uh, Lack of preparations often leads to confusion, hesitations, and nervousness, while sorry which affect the overall quality of the presentations. Okay, let me repeat again. Like lack of preparation such as, like, I mean, uh, what I meant to say is that lack of preparations actually may lead to, or can lead to, confusion, hesitation, and also nervousness. So overall, you know, this overall, may actually affect the quality of the presentations. And the second factor is the audience. Audience size, the size of the audience, and the background and the level of interest play an important role. A presentation should be planned according to who the audience is or are. Speaking to audience, students, professionals, or managers requires different approaches and language levels. Next is this physical settings. There's another important factor. This includes the size of the room, sitting arrangement, noise level, and time available. So poor lighting and uncomfortable sitting actually, uh, or technical problems can distract both the speaker and the audience. Okay, so the use of visual aids, you know also another another factors. So visual aids can actually improve uh, understanding if used properly, but too many slides or unclear visuals can also confuse the audience. Slides here means like presentation, just like this, right? So finally, the uh, cultural and psychological factors. So this also affect presentations. So cultural background influences how people interpret gestures and communication styles. Like psychological factors, such as stress or fear, can reduce effectiveness. So this particularly reminds you that presentations, success depends presentation success depends on many elements. So ignoring these factors can weaken even a good presentations. So careful planning helps overcome these challenges. Okay, so next unit is interviewing skills. So interviews are a very important part of professional life because they are commonly used for recruitment, selections, and evaluation in organizations. Uh, so this unit discusses both sides of the interview processes, appearing in interviews and conducting interviews. So the first part of the first part of the slide, as you can see here, is appearing in interviews. So proper preparation is essential before facing an interview. A candidate should have clear knowledge of their resume, educational background, skills, and experiences. Being well prepared helps reduce anxiety and allows the candidate to answer questions confidently. Right. So professional dress and behavior are also emphasized. The way a candidate dresses, and behaves creates a first impressions, like polite manners, confidence, and a positive attitudes are important in interview situations. So clear and honest answers are always preferred over exaggerated or false responses. Okay. And the slides here also, as you can see in the slides, also focuses on conducting interviews, right? Another important type of interviews. So you know which is actually useful for a candidate who may later take up managerial or administrative roles. So conducting an interviews involves asking relevant and clear questions to assess the candidate's suitability. So interviews must listen carefully to responses and uh, and evaluate the candidates fairly. Okay. So like as you can see here, example, HR interviews, for example. So HR interviews assess not only knowledge but also attitude and communication skills. So this means that how a person speaks, listens, and behaves is an important is as important as what they know. All right. So this unit 18 helps understand that interviews are formal communication situations where verbal and nonverbal skills plays a crucial roles. So mastering interview skills increases confidence and improves career opportunities. Okay, so this is the end of unit 18. Now next we move on to the assignment questions. So in this on the slide in this slide this slides actually shows some questions, right? So let's focus on that. So as we always do in all this previous lectures, so here are some assignment questions that you're expected to solve and submit to me via email or WhatsApp, right? So here you have 4 questions. So these questions are directly linked to the units that discussed in this block, right? So you are expected to answer them using what you have learned in the lecture, in the class, something like that. Okay, so the first questions asks you to discuss the importance of group discussion in business communications, and the second questions asks you to explain the principles of effective oral communications, and the third questions is asks you to describe the skills required to face interview successfully. Okay, and the fourth question is asks you to write a short note on the role of effective listening in organization. So why I have given you this question, it is actually I have given you these questions to test the conceptual clarity as well as practical understanding. So you're advised to write clear, relevant, and well structured answers. Okay, so this will also help you, this assignment will also help you prepare for examinations and also real life professional situations. Okay, now let's move on to the conclusions. As you can see, uh, this this block 5 actually focuses on what are the main point, all the practical communication skills, right? Like speaking, listening, teamwork, and interview skills. So why? So this block 5 emphasizes on this, these skills. Why? Because these skills are essential for success in employment, corporate environments, and organizational communications. Okay. So as you can see, in today's competitive world, having subject knowledge alone is not enough. Okay. So employers expect individuals to communicate clearly, work in teams, and also behave professionally. So this block, we have already discussed, right, all the 4 blocks. So this block will help you understand that communication is a two-way process. Effective communication involves not only speaking well, not only speaking well, but also listening carefully and responding appropriately. All right. And confidence, clarity, and professionalism are key qualities developed throughout this, you know, course. So this lecture, or this block 5 also, lecture on block 5 also marks the completion of MCOM 105 business communications. Okay. So if you have any doubts, questions, you know, don't hesitate to send me on my email or like WhatsApps, right? So you're free to ask me. Okay, you're free to ask me your doubts, question. If you need extra lectures, okay, you're welcome. So with this, we conclude, MCOM 105 business communication. Okay, so wish you, best of luck, and thank you so much. Okay.